Did you know that about 40% of people working in ad agencies in India are engineering graduates? Or did you just guess that I made that figure up? Anyway, but honestly, look around you. I'm sure someone around you working in your agency is pretty much an engineering graduate, but is today working as either an account manager in client servicing, maybe doing copywriting as well, or maybe in strategy. Uh, just like me. It's a pretty funny world, really. So, in today's video, I'll be telling you about my journey so far, which was a roller coaster ride from an engineering in a very niche specialization into the ad agency world. So, let's get into it. Hey guys, my name is Rahul Mandal, aka Mandal Bhari. I'm a brand communications and creative strategist with 7+ years of experience. On this channel, I talk about everything marketing and help aspiring students and young professionals to learn more about the domain. So stick around till the end of this video because I have a question for you to answer. So as we are all aware, when an engineering degree doesn't get you a decently paying job, what is the next best thing that you do? You guessed it right, an MBA. After engineering, and let me tell you what specialization was. So it was engineering in biomedical as a specialization. So after my engineering degree, what basically happened was there were not many jobs which were well paying. I did give a few interviews, and a lot of them were sales jobs. So a lot of such opportunities came along my way, but at that point in time, I was not ready to do a sales job first. Secondly, it was paying in singular digits. The opportunities weren't that great, and I had to find the best route out. And that's where I decided to go and do an MBA. And in the process of, appearing for those entrance exams, I did fall in love with marketing as a topic. I decided that I will do my specialization in marketing. And in the first year of MBA, when I did start studying marketing and all the different aspects of it, I really fell in love with the concept of advertising. And pretty much in my first year itself, I had made up my mind that I will join the advertising industry, that I will join an ad agency. But here's where things went a little south. So after I was done with my first year in MBA marketing, it was time for an internship. Now getting an internship is tough, but getting an internship which pays well is even tougher. So when a well-paying internship opportunity did turn up, I did not hold back, but also I did not think it through. As much as I wanted to get into an ad agency, I did not think about the fact that working in a different aspect of marketing for my internship would kind of be a hindrance to me joining an ad agency in the future. But I still gave the interviews, I got selected, and it was a software company which was into data recovery, and our jobs was to be an on-ground lead generation team. So as a part of my job, what we had to do actually is make a lot of cold calls. And when I say cold calls, we had to reach office, then go out in the field and do cold calls personally, visiting all of these different offices and getting forms filled and collect contacts for the company to contact later for business. So in 2 months of internship, I visited about some 400 plus companies and got about some 150, 200 plus, lead forms filled. What ended up happening is I did get a pre-placement offer from the company, but because I had my mindset, in the fact that I'll be working in an advertising agency only, I had to, respectfully decline that offer. So even though this internship ticks all the boxes for me in terms of a college project, it was not really going to help me land a job in an advertising agency as I intended to. And hence, I figured that I needed to do something more. And this is what I did next. So this is where my search for an internship in an advertising agency began. I started speaking to a lot of people, which included my college professors, our dean, some visiting faculty, and even some friends. So while I did get a lot of great advice, some direction, and even some references, none really worked out in terms of the kind of opportunities I was looking for. So in second year of my MBA, there was this advertising competition which was happening, which I had participated with a team of mine. And the judges were basically guests who were agency heads of two of the renowned advertising and media agencies in the country. One was a creative mainline agency, and the other was a global out of home and experiential marketing agency. We took part in the competition, it went well. We did not really land the first place, but the trophy that I was looking for was totally different. So I got in touch with these judges while they were at the campus. I requested them for their contacts. I expressed my interest in working in advertising and told them the story about my internship not being in the zone of advertising, and hence I was looking for some kind of project or internship. So both of them exchanged contacts, replied to my emails as well. But things did go a little quicker with the out of home agency, where the managing director, who was the guest judge for the competition, he did invite me over to his office and figure out what is it that we could do. So fast forward a couple of days where I got his appointment. So I visited the MD in his Mumbai office. He told me about the kind of opportunities they have at the company, the kind of work that they do. And he introduced me to the strategy lead over there and proposed that I work from their office back then for 2 months. Now, while it was again a great opportunity, but again, I had one huge pain that I had to basically take care of. I had flunked in one of the subjects in my first year, which was economics, and I had a huge I had a lot to basically cover up and make up for in my next exam. So I did request him that it would be great if he could give me some kind of a remote project. They gave it a thought, and I think he was kind enough to consider that. So he agreed, and he said, okay, make a presentation report on the state of cinema advertising in India. And he said that you can do that with a study of cinema advertising in the market of Pune. And I just quickly agreed. I asked him for a month or two for the whole project, and I assured that I will get back with something useful. So what I did over the next 2 months was I concentrated on all of my college work, my lectures and classes on the weekdays. On the weekends, I would spend one whole day, going out to different cinema halls and multiplexes in the city, and basically try and meet the managers, get their permission to visit the premises. Some were even kind enough to let me inside the hall when the movie was going on. What kind of ads were going on screen, what kind of other activations happened at those places, and all of those details. So I put together all of these information into a presentation and made some analysis, made some recommendations, and now I wanted to basically make a presentation which clicks with them. So I did make a decent enough presentation on a PowerPoint slide. But I wanted to, approach this differently, leave a mark with, the people I would present it to. There is this online presentation tool called Prezi, which is like a huge canvas on which you could place all of the different pointers which you want to talk about. And basically it would zoom into one part, come out and zoom into another, pan to this one place, pan to this other place. And it was very interactive and interesting to look at. So what I did was I took my PowerPoint slides and put them into Prezi in the form of a very innovative, very interactive kind of a format. And I got prepared for the big day. So the big day was here. I had my presentation along with me on my laptop. I traveled to their office early in the morning, all decked up, properly groomed. Around 9, I was, shown the way towards a huge conference room. I plugged in the laptop to the big screen, and I was just waiting for them to get in. And okay, so the So the people who joined in were the managing director, the strategy head, and a business director from the ambient division. As nervous as I was inside, I was also putting up that brave, confident face outside because I had to. So I started presenting. I took my time. I was very detailed. I went granular into the kinds of observations I made, the kinds of analysis I did. I put some charts in there and also made a lot of these suggestions in terms of what I think works, what I think doesn't work, and a lot. So I think I presented to them for about some 40 minutes. And after that, as I concluded, I saw that pretty much impressed expression on everyone's face. And they did not really say much. I think everyone just looked at each other and kind of nodded. They had a small smile on their face. And I was like, okay, say something. And as a part of the feedback, I think the MD did say that, he said that, the project was well done. The presentation was well put together. He did add that he said, Rahul, you do have a good understanding of, how advertising and media works. Just in about another 15 minutes, I joined the MD in his cabin. And he again told me that it was a good project that I had presented. And pretty much as per what I was expecting, he did go ahead and offer me, a full-time job. And this time I made no mistake. I agreed to the offer. I had a discussion with him about the role, the growth trajectory, and all of that. And yes, I had my first job in an advertising agency, media agency rather. But yep, I had my inroads finally in the advertising world. So this was the start of my journey in the advertising world. How did I move from out of home and experiential into digital media? We'll keep that for another video. So 3 key learnings for young people who aspire to get into the advertising and marketing industry. 1. Do the work. Qualifications are secondary. I started the video with the fact that, a lot of people in advertising are engineers. So I think the industry is, pretty much open to accepting people from different kinds of graduation backgrounds, as long as you have that passion as well as that understanding of how the industry operates. So do the work, build a portfolio. Today you have social media, to your disposal. Create content, create what you think the brands could be doing, how brands could be writing, how brands could be strategizing, and do it for you. And what will happen is all of that will help you show a portfolio of work, show your thought process to a recruiter, because as someone who is continuously interviewing a lot of young people for different roles in our agency, I can assure you we look at your work first and your CV later. Number 2, meet people. Networking is important. Networking is pretty much the core of most of the businesses, especially in the advertising and media industry. So whether you plan to get into a job or whether you plan to start freelancing, in both cases, meeting people is important. Meeting people, not just say necessarily from higher up the designations. You don't need to connect necessarily with say the managing directors or CEOs of big companies. Might be a long shot, but you should still be connecting with a lot of people from the specialization that you want to follow. If you think you are someone who takes more interest in the creative side of things, strategy, connect with those kind of people, follow those kind of people. We have LinkedIn, we have Instagram, a lot of these platforms to virtually connect with people, if not directly. Number 3, get your hands dirty. There is no better teacher than execution. I've come across a lot of young people who want to directly jump into creative roles, who want to directly get into strategy roles. And I want to make this clear, as much as you might be smart, but a lot of learnings at the start of your career has to start with a role where you are executing things, where you're executing the smaller things, doing some social media, doing some on-ground work, talking to clients, doing a lot of meetings, having FaceTime with the client, and all of this will collectively give you a larger perspective, which you can then use a couple of years later to then transcend into a bigger role and pursue what you want to from a long-term perspective. So that brings us to the end of this particular video. And as promised earlier, I have a question for you guys to answer. So, what I want to know is what has been your journey so far? Tell me about it in the comments. If you're someone who's already working in the industry, is there an interesting story about how you got into advertising? Did you change fields? Are you also an engineer? Tell me about what's happened with you and how you got into the domain of advertising and marketing. So do subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I put up a new video. Also do visit my website www.mandalbhari.com. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This is Mandal Bhari signing off. See you in the next video.